Hey everyone, it's Tara-Nicholle Nelson here. I am the CEO of SoulTour.com and the founder of SoulTour's School of Spiritual Strategy. I'm here with, I don't know which episode, maybe episode 4 in the series I'm calling Your 2020 Vision. It's about, let's see, right now it's probably about like 96 days, 96 or 97 days from now to 2020. The year 2020, such an iconic year, such a futuristic year in so many of our minds for so long, and it's almost here. The divine download I got to do this series was about just sharing a little spiritual or practical strategy and affirmation, a thing you can do, an exercise to gear yourself up for your level up in 2020. Now, my intention is to help you start cultivating a super clear, decisive, focused, vision for 2020 for your whole life, and to sort of allow you to start seeing and feeling your own inner roadblocks and inner resistance arise, so you can start releasing those blocks, getting into inner alignment and outer alignment, aligning your physical space, your physical body, your daily habits, so you can start the process of putting the things that you need in place and building momentum well before 2020 even begins. All right, so in the last episode, if you will, of 2020 Vision, I started talking about getting a clear, decisive focus and allowing yourself to want whatever it is that you want fully, okay, without contradicting itself. And my intention here is that you start sort of expansively just desiring what you desire without contradicting, without canceling out your own dreams with your own fears, or with that tendency we all have to get into action planning mode and kind of by action planning start killing our dreams before we even allow them to get a good start. So for now, all I want you to do is just start desiring what you desire. That's the luxury you have when you start doing your sort of spiritual and inner alignment and practical and real world gearing up for the year this far in advance. We're still in September. Is that you have the space to just desire what you desire. Get clear on what you even want for next year. Allow this to unfold for a few days. Now, sometimes when we start getting clear on what it is that we desire, what we want for the next year, we have a habit of canceling out our desire with fear, right? It's a way we've all learned or been taught to stay small, to shrink ourselves down, to play the smaller game than we're really here to play. I consider the idea that like as soon as you have a clear, decisive focus and expansive desire or dream, and then you start talking about why it's scary or why you can't do it, that is the lie of the inner critic. It is that fear is the lie of culture. It's the lie of the enemy. It's the lie of your lizard brain, the lower level of your brain that you've long since outgrown, but doesn't know that you've outgrown it, doesn't know that it doesn't need to alert you to danger anymore. That's the lie of fear, especially the lie of those catastrophic inner critic fears that like you're like, I want to write a book in 2020. And that fear is like, if you write a book, you will die. You will be put on public stages and you will die. Or you will have to do this, and it will be grindy and hard, and then you'll have to quit your job and join the circus, and your children will starve. Okay, so all that catastrophic kind of black and white fear is just, it's a lie. And we'll talk much more about that in these next 90 some odd days. Here's what I want you to do though. Like all week I've just been downloading what wanted to come through, and I've noticed that there's been a theme so far of things that I want you to say to yourself as you begin this slow, leisurely, lavish on-ramp into 2020. So usually what fear says is, what's the worst that could happen, and goes straight to that, sketching this vivid visual of what the worst possible outcome is if you try to take the next natural step into your dream and desire or goal. So here's what I want you to say to yourself over these next few days and weeks as we're beginning to create an expansive, beautiful vision for your 2020 that feels like a gift you could give yourself, not like a struggle or a challenge you're going to force yourself to do, like a gift. Here's the question I want you to ask yourself. It's the question I ask every time any spark of fear comes up in me. I ask myself this question: what's the best that could happen? What's the absolute best thing that could happen in this scenario if I take this step? And sometimes I even ask this just before I get on stage to give a talk. What's the best that could happen? And the answer is always, this could be the best talk I ever give. And let me tell you, I'm not nervous when I speak. I know people are like saying, yeah, no, you're always going to be nervous. You just face the fear and do it anyway. You did that for a while, but I'm not nervous anymore when I speak, because every time I get on the stage, I'm like, this hour, these people have agreed to share with me could be the best talk I ever give. This talk could change someone's life. And that's a really different frame to take that step, take whatever step into whatever vision you have with, right? So first you ask yourself, what's the best that could happen to you in 2020? What could happen if you pursue your desire or dream? Maybe it'll go as you want it to, maybe it won't, but what's the best that could happen? And then ask this: what would you have to believe for the best to happen? What would you have to believe? What thoughts would you have to think and begin to wire in? What affirmations and declarations might you want to think about and focus on and invest your life force into and get down, hide in your heart, get in your spirit, so you can pull them out in your time of need? What thoughts might you have to release and let just peter out? You don't have to force your negative thoughts to go away. Sometimes you just have to see them, allow them to peter out by no longer fueling them and feeding them with your energy. And then we'll ask, what space would you need to create for the best thing to happen? And I'll walk you through a bunch of those things later. We'll talk a lot about creating space for whatever it is that's new and fresh and new that you want to flow into your experience in your life in 2020. But I will say this: I need to predict and declare something that's been on my heart for some of y'all who are watching this, because I'm already getting a lot of feedback from you guys. Some of you guys, so I always get started for the next year starting in about September, October. It's just like how my body and spirit are wired for seasons. Fall is a season for shedding in nature, and it's a season for shedding in life. But before I shed, I generally get clear, start to create a vision and realize what I can release and create space for. Here's what happens when you do your get ready for the year like this, and this will happen for some of you. Before November 2019, some of you are going to be where you would have only hoped to dream and dreamed to be by the end of 2020. Because divine timing is real, and when you invite it in and you surrender to it, you realize it can take you from A to B to Z fast whenever you're ready. So all we're doing is getting ready. All right, so if you have any questions or specific scenarios or things that you personally are facing or dreaming or desiring, or things that are coming up for you as you do this sort of gear up for your level up with me in this 2020 Vision Series, just drop your questions, your personal questions, into the comments, and I will try to get to them all. All right, guys, I love you. I will see you soon. In the meantime, keep your head up and your heart out, and just remember to keep asking, what's the best that could happen? Anytime fear sparks, what's the best that could happen?